Hello, and welcome back to the third part of our speed build on this channel for Manoir and Shah. I have to say it in that voice, I'm sorry. It just comes out as soon as I try and attempt to speak French. So yeah, here we are back at our grand mansion. And this is the third part in the series, so I think in total there will be 5 parts. That's kind of where I am at the moment with it. So yeah, we're over halfway now. It's very exciting because now we are really into the interior designing of this place. We are going to do most of the downstairs in this part, like most of the left wing of the mansion, I would say. And then in the next part we're going to move on to the right wing, which are the bedrooms of the residents, and also the upstairs, which has like a media kind of entertainment space and a spare bedroom as well, like a guest bedroom. And of course, as soon as I start recording, all the cars come out on the road. Oh, all right. Sorry for that. Those are all the noisy cars. As I mentioned, we do live, this room that I'm recording in is right next to a very busy road for some reason. We live in quite a residential place, but it's very noisy. I'm sorry, my apologies. But yeah, anyway, the speed build today. So the left wing, if you enter the grand entrance of this mansion and you take a left, then you will straight away see this kitchen space. And if you keep going further along, then that will lead you to the dining room. And this is something that I don't usually see in like mansions. I haven't seen many mansions, I will admit that, but from what I've seen on the movies or the TV shows, the kitchen is usually like hidden away. However, I didn't really want that for this build because I want it to still feel quite homey. It is quite a grand place, of course, but inside I want it to feel very homey and warm as well. And also I wanted the Sims to have the opportunity to use the space for themselves, so they can also cook or bake. And as you can see here, I'm putting down a little table in the corner, so I imagine that they would use this space to actually have breakfast at, and the dining room is more for fancy dinners, or if their guests come round, or if they just want to dress up a little bit and have dinner together that night. So yeah, I hope you get that kind of homey, warm vibe from this kitchen. That's really what I was going for here. It is still quite a big kitchen, I would not mind having this kitchen. It's very big, it's got a double oven, it's got a double fridge, and we will put an island in the middle as well, because there is a space now, and I wasn't sure what to do with it at first. I thought maybe I'll leave it, but I don't know, in the end it kind of fit in well, I would say. So yeah, we went with that in the end. But yeah, for this space I want to choose very warm tones again. The flooring, I believe that's maybe some sort of stone or something. And yeah, I don't know what kind of look this is going for. It's kind of a mix again between quite old-fashioned, vintage, but also maybe a bit contemporary. So it's definitely got a mix in here, and if you guys like that, then I'm very happy that you like that. I mean, I'm kind of not against mixing styles. I feel like when I first started playing The Sims, and especially seeing other Sims builds, they would always, name their build like, oh, contemporary build or vintage, or whatever it is, whatever the style was at the time. But I just I find that sometimes a little bit weird myself, because when you look out around in reality, at least the houses that I've been to or the houses I've lived in, it's usually a mix of styles, right? No one house is just made to be contemporary. I'm guessing, of course, if you buy a more modern home or one that's already furnished, newly furnished, then I can imagine it could be very modern and contemporary and things like that. But yeah, it's usually, I would say it's usually a mix. So with this house, I didn't kind of limit myself to, just building really old-fashioned or something like that. I think a mix of styles is sometimes important, right? It's supposed to be sort of a realistic home for these residents. So I went with that. But having said that, the next build I'm going to do is going to be very modern. I don't think that one has a lot of mixed styles, but I will explain why that is when we do the speed build, because it really does depend on the people that, you know, the Sims that I create for that house. See, this is how I see my Sims as real people. I just refer to them as actual human beings. It's not healthy. But yeah, that's the kitchen. As you guys know, I've enjoyed using the debug menu so much for this build, and it didn't stop for the landscaping only. It is also for the inside, so I added these like little mugs and plates and dough on the island and just little bits and bobs, again to make it seem like it's lived in. When you start the build and you probably move your Sims in, they might want to just clean that all up because it is considered like to be, you know, just a mess by the Sims, of course, and it is. So they will clean it up, but I just thought, you know, when you first, if you do download this and you first go into the lot, I want you to feel like, oh, okay, this has been somewhere that Sims have lived in for a while, that kind of feeling. So I hope that comes across. And now we're on to the living room. So as I said, it's just off to, just off the kitchen here, and it is quite a big grand room. I was a little bit intimidated by the dining room. Having, you know, kind of retrospect now, I would have made the kitchen a little bit bigger, because compared to the dining room, it just seems very cramped. I'm not going to lie to you, but at the same time, I feel like a dining room in a mansion is quite an important room, so I don't know. So yeah, this basically will be the dining room. I really struggled with this one. This one I remember I struggled with because I wanted to make it seem quite grand in case, you know, they have guests around, or if they just want to, like I said, just dress up and have dinner together in this really lovely place, in this really lovely room. But I thought, how am I going to do that when the kitchen looks so homey and the rest of the house looks quite homey? So this one was a little tricky for me. I needed to find like a balance between, being very, you know, grand and formal and just being a cozy space for them. But I think in the end it did come together, and this was one of the rooms, if you're a builder on The Sims, you know, like if you make a really, really big room sometimes, and then you just think to yourself, okay, how am I gonna fill this space? And then you just get all the plots and, you know, all the pots, did I say? Pots and pans, I was going to say? No, not pots and pans. You get all the flower pots out. That's what I was trying to say. I'm sorry. I've had a bit of coffee, so if you hear a slight hyperness to my voice, that is exactly why. But yeah. So I had to get out random objects, as you can see here. And I used this little, what is that called? Like a screen, I guess? I never use screens, but I found that one and it matches the wallpaper perfectly. Though, having said that, I think I do change the wallpaper, so that won't last very long. Let's enjoy it while it's there. And then I also added a little bar area here, so that's what I'm going to put in now. Again, I thought that was just a nice place to put it. I couldn't see it really in the kitchen, because the kitchen, as I said, is a little breakfast area for them, whereas this place is really more about entertaining and, you know, just spending a lot of time here, having some drinks, chatting, catching up with each other over a glass of wine with a nice dinner. So yeah, that's the kind of feel I was going for in this place, and I think it does really come out well in the end. I also added like some pantry cupboards in this room as well. Again, not like a full-on pantry, but just with some personal knickknacks on the little like shelves of the pantry. Again, just to add the personality and character into this place. I didn't want it to feel really cold and, yeah, you know, just like a very formal sort of place. So yeah, we'll see that in a little while. But I did it, yeah, in the end I did really like how it came together, I would say. It just took a bit of playing around with. As you can see here, I was struggling. Oh, and here I don't know, yeah, so basically I got this mirror. I believe it's from the cottage garden stuff, I would like to say. It is CC, and I will link it down below, and then you can find that and have a look for yourself. I think it's from the Plum Bob Tea Society. and they make the most like lovely furniture pieces, and I did use a lot of that pack for this interior, as well as of course the Peacemaker wallpaper. That is one of my favorites. So yeah, that's when I changed the kind of walls here, and I ended up going for a more bright and airy sort of color scheme. But yeah, here we go. I'm putting in the full bar. Everything's coming together now. I'm really in the zone. I'm like, okay, white on white on white, because I wanted it just to seem very clean and crisp in here. That's the look I was going for. And I like that because when we move on to the library next, that is really dark and sort of, you know, just when you see the room, you feel like it would be like a stuffy room. And that's the look and feel I wanted to go for in that room. So I like the contrast between the two, you know, the kitchen being very warm toned, the dining room really being bright and airy, and then the living room being quite dark and maybe a bit more stuffy. I hope you're all doing well and, you know, trying to get through life at the moment. I don't know if you know, the quarantine has affected a lot of you with things like work and etc. But either way, I hope you guys are tackling it head on and just getting through life at the moment. For myself, I do just right now I don't really work because of this whole regulation here in the Netherlands where I live. So yeah, I don't work at the moment, which, you know, at the start I felt really sad about, and yeah, it's weird to feel like you don't really have a purpose anymore in terms of, you know, not working. I feel like for me that is a big part of my life, of course, as is for everyone. But I really did enjoy my job, so it just felt so weird to just suddenly you know, be told, oh, you're not going to work until maybe like September-ish this year. So that was a big shock. But I feel like, you know, it is a really good time right now to just take time for yourself, especially right now with what's going on. Take time to educate yourself about what's going on, take time to support it, but also take time for yourself. I feel like, you know, you always make excuses as a human being about what you don't do in your own life, like working out or working on a hobby that you've had or picking up a skill that you've always wanted to do. So I think it's so interesting now that we're in quarantine and some of us have had the time to do that, and yet sometimes we don't, or sometimes we do, and it's really positive experience. So yeah, from the bad comes good always. But it's been interesting for me too. And I do have a funny story because I was in this little rut as well when the quarantine started, and recently this week I was like, okay, that's enough. Like, I'm going to work out a little bit more. I'm gonna do some yoga and do some, like, you know, follow those like workouts on YouTube, and it just went absolutely horrible. And I mean this in all honesty. So basically at the time I was doing this like yoga routine. I think I did a yoga routine in the morning, and then I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do like a proper workout on YouTube, because I see a lot of people using YouTube now. You know, when you can't go to the gym, it's a really good alternative, and you know, it's at home. I don't know, it's in my comfort zone. I just enjoyed the kind of I enjoyed the idea of it. So I found one on YouTube, and I'll link it down below if you guys are interested. It's a very intense workout, and it was like a 30-minute one, and I just liked it. The woman leading it, she was so energetic and smiley, and that to me just kind of draws me to her. Especially when you're doing workouts, I want to be energized by someone who's like leading the class. So I love that about her, and I said, okay, I'm gonna give this a go. And honestly, I think 5 minutes in, we had just finished the warm-up. And at that point in the video, I was already done. I thought, is this just the warm-up? Like, that is ridiculous, because I feel absolutely dead after that. And the funniest thing was, like, I did one circuit. I think there were like 3 in total, and then like cool down at the end. But yeah, I did the warm-up and the first circuit, and I was absolutely knackered. And then, like an idiot, I had done yoga after that to then cool down, because I didn't have the final cool down, of course. So I had also done yoga that day, and then the next day, which was yesterday, by the way, I woke up with the worst back pain. And I don't think it's my actual back, like the spine or anything. I think it's just a muscle there that I've aggravated very, very badly. But it was a joke, because I thought to myself, I'm so weak that I can't handle this workout. But I think a lot of people are in that place. I don't think it was just me, because looking through the comments, it was like this community of hurt people coming together, and not emotionally hurt, but just hurt physically from the workout. It was the most hilarious thing, and it just really uplifted me, even when I felt absolutely dead after 10 minutes. The comment section just made my day, basically. It was hilarious. But yeah, that's my story. Today I am still having the same back pain. I can barely move my neck, or even like change my position that I sit in. So yeah, it's kind of getting to me at the moment. But yeah, of course, nothing painkillers won't fix, right? But yeah, that's my story. I really do feel now at that point, and I can't say this because I'm in my early 20s, but when people say like, oh, when you try to do these exercises and things like that, when you're a bit older, you'll really feel it. And I think that's where I am, and it's terrible. I don't like it. Oh no. So yeah, that's my very terrible story of how I tried this intense workout. But what I said to myself is I will go back to that workout and I will finish it at one point in time. I just won't give up with it. I won't give up. Anyway, that aside, we're on to the library part of it. This isn't like a computer room. There's no computers in here. It's a very chill space that Sims can just come and read in. Again, I wouldn't assume this is where they would hold the book club, for example. I think the book club would still be in the living room, but this would be just like a come and chill on your own kind of space, and you can just read a book, or I don't know, write in your diary, or whatever you would like to do here. And then I found this swatch on the sofas, and I knew that's the color scheme I wanted once I had found that swatch. I have never used that swatch, I don't think, but once I saw it, I was like, okay, this is perfect. This is what I'm going to go with. And then from there, it just all kind of came together. But yeah, I really like this room. As I said, it is much more darker than the other rooms that I've created, but I want that kind of relaxing vibe in here. And as a reader myself, I would absolutely love to have a room like this in my future home. I don't care how modern my home is going to be. I want those full length, floor to ceiling bookcases. And I know it's terrible. I've even bought myself like the virtual, oh my goodness, what are they called? Like a reading tablet? What are they called? See, I haven't used it in so long, I don't even know what the name of them is anymore. But yeah, you can read books basically on it. Oh, a Kindle, that's the one, a Kindle. So I bought that for myself. I wanted to use it, and I did use it for a little while, and especially on holidays and things like that, it's lovely. But nothing beats having a real book for me. And I've kind of, I'm a bit of a book collector, and it's not the best, I know, but I just love it. I really, really, really treasure my books, to the point where we've just bought a new bookcase in our room right now, and I sent a picture to my friends, and they were like, oh, it looks really nice, it looks perfect. And I said, well, actually, I still need to color code all my books and put them into like the correct places. And my friends, having known me for a long time, mind you, thought I was genuinely joking. And I just said to them, I am not joking, I am going to color code them. Because to me, that is just the most perfect thing to look at when your books, like all of your prized books, your prized possessions are organized. But yeah, it just made them really, really like laugh and chuckle to themselves, because I am that person who's very organized. And yeah, I don't mind that. I don't mind being known as that person. I really love a good bit of organizing. So yeah, that's about books. And now we're on to the butler's room. As you can tell, I have had coffee, so we're on to the butler's room now. It's, yeah, a really lovely place. I made sure that the butler's room still has everything that you would need for a sim. So I think, yeah, personally, I would love to stay here. It's got the door to the outside as well. So the butler could actually just go outside and walk to the kitchen like that, just to save time. Or he could go through the library. But either way, he's got a lot of, yeah, different entrances. He's got entrances to his place. And yeah, it's quite a nice little space. It's got very nice furniture. He's got on the left there in that empty room is going to be his own like ensuite. And then on the empty room on the right is going to be a laundry room. So of course I would imagine him to take care of all the laundry, and also his room is like behind his room is the garden plot. So I could also imagine him going out in the morning watering all the plants, or in the evening watering the plants and taking care of that plot of land. But yeah, everything you need is there. You know, if you have got the laundry day pack, then of course you can use this room as laundry. But if you don't and you still want to download this, I mean, you could use this room just like as a storage room as well. So you could put maybe some cupboards for, yeah, just for different storage basically. That's kind of what I imagine this room to be like anyway. And yeah, he's got easy access to it from his own like little wing that he stays at. So as I said, you know, you can either hire a butler or you could move someone in here. But if you wanted to, you could even make this as another room for a resident to live in. I don't think that would be a bad idea at all. So yeah, it's really up to you. Use it how you want to, but that's what I went with. And yeah, we're gonna move on to the screenshots now. I hope you guys enjoy this part of the speed build, and next time we will move on to the residents' bedrooms. So I will see you then. Bye bye.